So I'm like, you want me to call my guys? Like, you know what I'm saying? She like, nope, I want you to stay. But it was the way she said it. I was like, I felt that. I'm like, all right. She like, come on. So boom, she shuts the door behind me. Everybody like, ooh, hey, hey. She like, this who I've been talking about, y'all. So they like, yes, fine. I'm like, I'm all right. So boom, they like, you want to play a card game? Are you good with cards? I'm like, oh, I'm good with spades and stuff like that. She like, well, we playing for shots. So she said, I'm going to deal everybody 5 cards. She said, you can't look at the cards. She said, we both going to flip them at the same time. And we're going to see who got the highest card. Whoever got the lowest card got to take a shot. So I'm like, okay, simple game. You ain't got to think that much. And all I'm doing is flipping over the card. I think I can keep up with that. So boom, they did get to dealing the cards. So she underneath the table, like playing with me with her foot. Right, so I'm looking, I'm like, but I had on nice shoes. But I'm gonna let that slide because you looking cute. So boom, we flipping over the cards, boom. We started taking shots. So I was like, well, can I go ahead and get an actual real drink? Because me, I'm not a shot taker. So I was like, can I get an actual real drink? So boom, I put a real drink next to me. So I'm like, okay, boom, we having a good time. So she like, y'all want to play spin the bottle, right? So I was like, spin the bottle. She like, yeah. She like, spin the bottle. I'm like, I don't care, right? You know what I'm saying? Look, I did care. I was nervous. All these, like, help. Like, I didn't know, like, what was next because I was getting tipsy. Now, mind you, I just broke up with Mighty Soul. I did care about her. I did love her. You know what I'm saying? Like, I cared about her enough to make sure that she was okay. And I was like, I just got out of a relationship, but it's like, she played me, she did me in a relationship. So let me just enjoy. So it was like that type that I wanted to hold on, but I wanted to let go, but I was trying, but it was like, you know what? You know what I'm saying? So I was tug of war with myself. So boom, she get the bottle. She get the spinning it. So the first hit, it gets to me and her friend, right? So she like, oh, well, since I thought of the game, she like, I want to do the first one. So I'm like, oh, okay. So she like, I dare you, she told her girl, she said, I dare you to show your tits. Dare like that. So she popped one out. She said, no, both of them. So she popped them out. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, okay. Boom, spent it again. It gets on both of the other girls, right? Not the girl that invited me, but the same one that showed her tits and the other girl. So they like, I dare you to kiss. So boom, they pecked, right? So boom, spent the bottle again. So the bottle comes between me and the same girl who showed the tits. This girl just kept being involved. But the girl that invited me, she didn't get me just yet. So she was kind of looking a little salty. So boom, so the other girl like, no, it's my turn, it's my turn. So the one that invited me, she was ticked off like, nah, it's my game. Like, hold on, nobody better be doing nothing extra. You could read the face, but I just was feeling like, all right, I'm a little tipsy. Maybe I'm just reading it wrong. So boom, the girl's like, I dare you, she looked at me, to go squeeze her butt. So I'm like, wait, I could squeeze her. She like, well, that's the part of the game. I'm like, okay. So I go, I squeeze it and then I let go. And she like, oh, you can squeeze it again for free. I'm like, nah. I'm like, all right. I'm like, let me spend it. All right. Now I'm starting to get worked up down. Now I'm starting to feel a little heat down there. So boom, I spin the bottle. Boom. Hit me an old girl now, the one that invited me. So the one that showed her boobs like, I dare y'all to go in the room and spend 2 minutes together kissing. Straight like that. So I was like, she like, but y'all gotta leave the door cracked. I'm like, the door cracked? So she like, yeah. So I'm like, all right. So old girl, she grabbed my hand. Now here's the deal. I was like, okay, they had to do this before. Because they had this game down, packed to the T, questions packed down to the T. And I was like used to doing the spin the bottle and we go and do like the little kissing when we was younger. But this is like, oh, y'all done turned this up a notch. Boom. We go inside the room. The door's like halfway cracked. So you can see directly in there. So I sit on the bed. So she like kind of like grinding on me a little bit. You feel me? So I'm like, okay. I'm like, I think she said kissing. So she gets on top of me, right? So she started kissing my neck. I'm like, oh, that's my spot. I'm like, maybe you should kiss, kiss my lips. Now, I'm not a kisser. So when I tried to kiss her, I tried to play it off. I'm like, and she like, She like, you got to give me all your lips. And she grabbed my face. And so I'm like, nah. So she like, no. So she took my shirt. And I had a button-up shirt. And she popped it. She popped it. And she like, how about this? And she went to the door and she shut it in their face and locked it. She like, I actually really want you. I've been wanting you. So she like gets back. I'm like still laid on the bed. And I'm like, hold on. Whoa, but I wanted it so bad. And so she started seducing me. And so I'm like, man, pump this. So now I'm coming out the shirt. I'm groping, I'm grinding on her. And so boom, I'm about to get ready to lay it in her. And all of a sudden, something came to my head with Mighty Soul. I was just like, nah, this ain't right. Like, this not right. I'm like, nah, I gotta stop. She like, no. I'm like, I gotta stop. I gotta stop. I gotta stop. She like, no. She like, you could just lay right here. She like, I got it. She like, I can feel you want it. Ooh. So she's just like going back and forth with me, right? Boom. I move. I'm like, no. Straight up, no. I'm like, I gotta go, right? I grab me and my friend, popped them back in. I'm walking straight out the door, right? So they're like, what happened? I walk straight out the door. So I'm like, oh my God. Like, as I'm walking back home, it's a little late. So I see my guys, right? They like, yo, I'm like, shorty a freak. They like, yeah, that's what they said. They like, I've been trying to get up to a crib. You got to give us details. I'm like, bro, come on, we need to smoke. I'm like, come with me, right? So boom, I put my key into the first door. And when I get to the first door, I see Mighty Soul sitting on the steps, crying. So I'm assuming that she couldn't get through the second door because you get buzzed through the first door, then it's another door to take you through the rest of the levels. So she couldn't, no, I guess nobody went coming in and coming out. She just so happened to get inside there. How she got inside there, I do not know. Maybe they didn't shut the door all the way, but she could not get into that second door. So she was sitting up there crying. I'm like, hey, what you doing here? So now my friend looking, he like, she straight. So I'm looking like, okay, I can't be like I can't be a butthole. So I'm going to be kind. So I'm like, hey, get her. She like, I just came back. I needed to talk to you. I'm like, it's late. She like, I was ringing the bell. I'm like, yeah, but I went at home. Right? I went at home. I'm like, is everything okay? What's going on? So she like, I just need to talk to you. So I looked at my guy. I'm like, hey, I'm going to catch up with you. I'm like, let me see what's up with her, right? So he looking. So I'm like, I'm going to walk you out the door. I'm like, here, take the key, right? I'm like, just wait right there for me. So boom, I go on here and I'm like, let me see what's wrong with her. I'm like, just bring my bill back in like 10, 15 minutes. He like, all right, cool. I'm like, all right, bad. Boom, we fist pump. Go upstairs with Mighty Soul. We're going to crib. So I'm like, what's going on? What's wrong with you? So she like, I had a miscarriage. I'm like, what? She like, I had a miscarriage. I'm like, how you have a miscarriage? She like, when I went to the toilet, I was bleeding real bad. So immediately I was so angry. And I don't know why, but I was more angry. I wasn't angry like directly her, but I was mad because I wasn't having a baby. Like I was so happy and I wanted to see what me and her baby was gonna look like, even though we was broken up. And she was just like, it was my show. I'm like, did you go to the doctor? Like, did the doctor tell you this? Like how do you know you had a miscarriage? She like, cause it was in the, she kept telling me that it was in the toilet. So I'm like, did you take any pictures? So she like, no. She like, it was just blood everywhere. My mama had to make sure I was okay. And I just wanted to come and tell you. I'm like, so you're not pregnant no more. The baby is gone. She said, yeah. I said, are you going to go to the hospital? She like, I'm going to go tomorrow. I'm like, I want to be there. I want to go too. She like, no, you don't have to go. I'm like, no, I want to go. I want to go. So she's like, I just love you. And I just think I was just stressing and everything and just everything. I'm like, come here, I'm sorry. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm like, Just stay. I can't have you out late at night. So boom, she showered. She laid in the bed. She started grabbing on me. Went down. She was giving me head because I knew I wasn't sticking in her. I just knew I was not. Because you still freaked somebody else. But you can give me your sloppy toppy all you want. But I am concerned about the baby, right? So boom. Sorry about that, y'all. So boom. The next day come. I'm like, when is the doctor's appointment? She was like, oh, they rescheduled it. She like, I'm going to go next week. I'm like, I want to go, right? Straight up, I want to go. So me and her started back trying to kind of like work it out, but we wasn't being sexually active. So we was just kicking it and just being cool, but still living under the same roof. You know, she was giving me hair from time to time. I was rubbing her feet, but we wasn't really like super linked. It was just like, dang, like we wanted each other, but I wasn't really trying anymore. But it was the fact that I was still holding on because you was carrying my baby. And I just, at that point, I was young and I just couldn't let go, right? Boom. This is when I let go right here. She was at her parents' house and her sister had like a little party and Marisol was drinking a lot. She was drinking. She was getting wasted a little bit. So it was a point that she had to go to the doctor because something happened. I don't know if it was liquor poison or what, but she was throwing up and pooping at the same time. So she wanted to go to the doctor. I went with her, right? I went with her. And as I went with her, I was with her sister, Damaris. I was with her sister. And so we was out waiting on her while she was at the doctor. So I always used to go back there with her, but this time I didn't go back there with her. So I was like, you was almost going to be an auntie, huh? She was like, who? I'm like, you. She was like, no, I wasn't. I'm like, now, her sister at the time was 15. So I was like, your sister was pregnant. You know that, right? I'm like, she going through a bad thing right now. I'm like, she lost a baby. She had a miscarriage. She like, she never told us nothing like that. I'm like, yes, she did. She told me that she did. She said, no. She like, but I asked mommy just like that.